The Spanish conquest of Latin America was so thorough that the use of most pre-Hispanic languages was, sadly, almost eliminated. Out of all the languages, one would assume that Nahuatl, which was spoken by the Aztecs and their massive empire, would have had the best chance of surviving. But no. Currently, Nahuatl is only consistently spoken by scattered, fragmented communities in Mexico and Central America, and not the average citizen.
Infrastructure.
The Spanish language remains powerfully omnipresent, but there is a handful of Nahuatl words which managed to survive colonialism.
Words in papers, words in books, words on TV, words for books, words of comfort, words of peace, words to make the fighting cease.
The following words were just too cool to be replaced by their European counterparts, starting with... In most Spanish-speaking countries, a kite is referred to as a cometa, which means comet. But people with Nahuatl-speaking ancestors still call them papalotes, which is a derivative of papalotl. Papalotl means butterfly, and frankly, a butterfly does resemble a kite more than a flaming space rock, which is why indigenous people probably said GTFO with your imprecise analogy for this beautiful thing. This is a 2-for-1 because depending on the conjugation, these words can work as synonyms. Mitote means rowdy dance, racket, or party. And it's an old-timey word, not just because it's ancient Nahuatl, but because it's something a grandma would say. It's very similar to the American colloquialism hootenanny. Argüende, depending on how it's conjugated, can also imply that a person is a partygoer, but also a gossip or even a tattletale. So if my mother was to say, Marcelo loves el mitote, and is very argüendero, and she would say that about me, then my mom would be suggesting that I'm a very fun person and that you should confide all your secrets, including your PIN numbers and routing numbers, to moi.
Todos sus movimientos están fríamente calculados.
Chapulín, which means grasshopper, is usually translated as saltamontes in generic Spanish. It's probably the best known Nahuatl word in the Spanish-speaking world, thanks to El Chapulín Colorado, a popular sitcom. We made a whole video about that show, so check it out if you haven't. But something to keep in mind is that all the words in this list are not loan words. Nahuatl loan words, such as tomato, chocolate, or coyote, had no equivalent and were simply adapted into other languages. But the words on this list do have a Spanish equivalent. It's just that, as I mentioned earlier, people with Nahuatl-speaking ancestry will typically prefer certain homegrown words, and I think it has to do with accuracy. Take saltamontes, which translates into mountain jumper, while chapulín translates into insect who jumps like a rubber ball. The latter might be a little more long-winded, but it's precise.
Arroz con popote, vamos a comer arroz.
Drinking straw is called popote by Mexicans and some Central Americans. It's derived from the Nahuatl word popotl, and it references the stems or stalks of many types of hollow grasses. Pretty obvious. Only that out of all the words on this list, and possibly the entire Spanish language, the drinking straw has a ridiculous amount of names, including pajita, caña, bombilla, pitillo, sorbete, pipeta, and the list goes on. There's still a lot more fun Nahuatl words that survived colonialism and are still in use today. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this content. If you did, check out the Americano on social media for more. Timoitase.
Words in papers, words in books, words on TV, words for books, words of comfort, words of peace, words to make the fighting cease.